Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and this is Top 5s, the only weekly Top 5 show when we decide to actually make it. Anyways, in this episode, we're going to talk about the top 5 ways you shouldn't be storing your snowboard gear. That's right, it's the off season for a lot of you, or else it's the start of the season for some of you in the southern hemisphere. Either way, in the off season, you don't need to be storing your gear this way, so let's dive right into it. Number 5. You shouldn't be storing it in your damp basement. Your edges are gonna rust, and then you get that weird bleed into the base, especially if you got a white base and you start to see it, then you take it to the shop and you're like, can you guys fix this? And the guys in the shop are like, oh God, not another one. And then they do their best to try to work with it, but they can't get the rust stains that have leached into the white P-Tex, and then you complain about it, and then you wonder why you're sliding a rail and suddenly your edge cracks and you die, and then you're dead, and then, we got to cart another body off the hill, and then they cart that body off the hill, and then our insurance rates raise at the resorts, and next thing you know, lift ticket prices go up. All because you left your dang snowboard in a damp basement. Cool, dry places. And remember to wipe your shit down at the end of the season, too. Number 4, at your questionable significant others. Your relationship was a little rocky. You tried to teach them how to snowboard and they said they loved it, but realistically, deep down inside, they hate you, and you're probably gonna break up because, well, let's just be real, that's what people do. They just break up all the time. I know, I see it all the time. I broke up with so-and-so. That's nice. So they're single? That's what you're telling me? Anyways, you don't want to leave your stuff at your significant other if you're in a questionable relationship. Because when you break up, you got to go over there and you got to try to get it back. And if they're really spiteful, they'll probably just donate the damn thing to the Shred Foundation. Had a few people email me about that. That's really low. They watch this channel and then you ask me where you can donate their gear behind their back. It's awful. Anyways, you want to make sure you keep this stuff where you can keep an eye on it. You know who you are, you serial daters. Also, why are you trying to teach your significant other? I know it's called being a cheap ass and everything, but hire someone else to do it. You'll thank me in the long run. Number 3, your friend's house. If you have friends like me, that means you probably want to check all the ladders and straps and buckles on your bindings, because I will gut the good parts out and put bad ones on there. Sorry, you left good bindings and I needed parts, so I took them. I'm also kind of notorious for spray painting people's snowboards. Sorry, Kevin. Anyways, don't leave your stuff at your friend's house. You don't know what they're doing to it. Next thing you know, you see a video on Instagram and they're getting pulled behind the riding lawnmower on it because they got drunk one 4th of July. I'm not saying I've done this, but I have some rednecky friends that definitely have. Number 2, in the trunk of your car in the board bag where you left it at the end of the season. You never wiped it down, so now it's just in there baking in your trunk with whatever moisture's in there festering and rotting. Your boots are probably in there, which means they smell like a dying goat's vagina. Yeah, you know who you are. I've seen you people literally show up opening day, pull it right out of the back of the car where it's been sitting, and then wonder why your boots are still damp. And maybe there's turds from rats in there and stuff, and your edges are just horribly, horribly crusty. Don't do this. Take it out, dry everything down, put it in the board bag, then shove it under your bed. You'll be fine. Trunk of your car? Not so good. Too much hot to cold. Plus, if someone steals your car, your shit's gone. It's just awful. Honorable mentions, all great options, but just barely didn't crack the top 5 of this list. In your attic. It's a little too hot up there in the summer, plus, squirrels, they'll probably attack your boots and chew whatever's on your bindings and stuff. You don't want to do that. In your locker at your winter job. Why are you leaving your stuff at the resort? Especially if you work for a mom and pop resort, because it's probably just going to get bought by Vail Resorts, and they're going to come in and just throw everything away. And the next thing you know, you don't have any equipment. So, once again, keep your eye on your shit. Leaning up against your house by the front door. I don't know why I need to say this, but I've seen a lot of you people doing this, and on top of getting sun fade and drying your board out and, getting just exposed to whatever, it's a real easy target for people to do a grab and go. Why you setting yourself up for failure, people? Anyways, like I said, these are all great options, but just barely didn't crack the top 5 of this list. And the number 1 worst place to store your gear in the off season, in your car's roof rack or Thule box or whatever. Other day, guy drove past me with his Jeep, had his snowboards on the top of it, caked in road dust, mud, just drying out and getting baked in the sun. They look like they'd been sitting there since April. It's July. You can, take them down out of the roof rack and put them somewhere else. Pretty sure this dude wasn't going snowboarding, even though we do have one place you can ride here in Colorado still, because, Copper's got a hike to terrain park. But this stuff literally looked like he'd been camping, going off-roading, hadn't taken it like up to Mount Hood or anything. Why are you doing that, people? You're just setting yourself up for failure later on when that plastic dries out in your bindings and cracks. Don't do it. You know who you are, sinners. This has been my top 5 worst ways to store your gear in the off-season. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you do some of this stuff on this list? God, I hope not. Do you actually take care of your stuff? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this list. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and well, I'm going to continue to be your host till the new guy takes over. That's right, we're getting a new guy and you're going to deal with it, and I'll see you in another video.